let's just see how long it takes. It is a USB 3 key, but it's a USB 2 port.
Okay.
If this was a USB 3 port, it would already be started.
Wow.
We're at 13, 14, 15 seconds. And at about 22 seconds, we're going to have our start screen. Or it's going to make a liar of me.
No, it's going to be pretty fast. I've seen this before.
And our start screen should appear right now. There it is up on our large screen.
Wow.
And it's at 30 seconds.
That's,
so we're going
from a USB 2 key, though, that's extremely quick.
Yeah. Now you'll notice that I've got the Panda here.
Right.
I have that set up because that's what was installed on the USB key to show that it's a different logon.
Right.
And when I enter my password, it's still tied to my Microsoft account. And I've really got to type my password in properly for this to work. We're going to have a whole different set of applications. Now, you know what you mentioned is really cool. When you have the ability to take your applications, that's great.
Right.
But let's take that scenario one step further. Who uses your computer at home?
The kids.
Oh my God, we've got malware and viruses and spyware and all sorts of stuff that we don't want. Well, once we're in our Windows 8 environment, let's go to Windows Explorer.
Okay.
Just let's go on our desktop to Windows Explorer. And my drives are there, but I have the ability, when I create my USB key, to lock out local drives.
Oh, perfect.
It will actually say, okay, your only drive is this USB drive. So it's got your SkyDrive or your Office 365 and your direct access to the network and all of your applications. But the local hard drives are all offline and inaccessible. Okay. In other words, it can't infect your key. Nothing that you do locally can infect your corporate device.
Right, right.
So if you're building these keys for your clients, how amazing is that? Yes, they may be able to say, hey, I can't transfer files from this to that. We don't want you to transfer files from this to that. Those files, your environment on the Windows To Go key is protected by our corporate antivirus, our System Center endpoint protection. That's of course a shameless plug, or Windows Intune endpoint protection, or a third-party antivirus.
Right.
But we don't know what's on your desktop at home, and we don't know who's using your desktop at home.
Very true.
We know that your direct access on this key is connected to our corporate environment. We don't want your kids' malware infecting or affecting our entire network.
Right.
And I've seen that happen.
Oh,
People
yes.
connect their infected machines to a VPN connection, and oh my God, my entire corporate environment is infected,
Right.
and it's going to cost me thousands of dollars to clean out.
Exactly.
This eliminates that problem completely.
Well, that's fantastic. That's
So when I look
fantastic.
at this screen, of course, they're over here. I have all of my applications here, except I don't.
Right, they're your corporate applications.
These are my corporate applications. I've got my Hyper-V. By the way, Hyper-V runs on Windows To Go.
Wow.
But I don't have, at the top of my start menu, what did I put there before?
Outlook.
Outlook. Now I can do that. I can take my Outlook from over here and just move it over here.
Sure.
But this is a completely different environment. Unless, of course, I have roaming profiles enabled, at which point it would replicate one to the other. So one of the complaints that we get all of the time from people is what? What's my password?
Lost my password, can't remember it.
Yeah, and help desks all around the world have somebody whose job it is to reset passwords, and they're busy, busy people.
Right.
It's amazing. Now, what we're going to show you now isn't the top-level security. If you need high-end security, you should have two-factor authentication using a tool such as AuthAnvil from ScorpionSoft, which is a great Canadian company that I like to plug. And you're going to have an RFID token that is going to always be with you and is always going to be safe. But for your home users, the people who say, well, we don't need high-level security, we're going to let them use what's called a picture password.
Okay.
So let's go into our Windows screen, our settings, change PC settings, and under users, I'm going to say create a picture password. Now first it says, hey, before you do this, I want to make sure you are you. So let's go into, it's going to give you the password. Now you're going to choose your picture. Now I've set up a picture of my office at home,
Right.
and we're going to use that. And this picture is a picture of my office. And we're going to use this picture, and we're going to use 3 gestures. Now, a gesture can be a type, a tap, or it can be a line, or it can be a circle. So I'm first going to circle the cloud on my MCSE private cloud. I'm then going to touch my book on one of the books that I published, and I'm then going to draw a line through my black belt.
Perfect.
And
so
it's
of
going to
course,
ask,
the chances of someone knowing that are very slim.
Exactly. So it's going to ask me to confirm that. So I'm going to draw my circle around the MCSE. I'm going to touch the book that I wrote, and I'm going to draw a line through my black belt. And it says you've successfully created your picture password. Finish. Wonderful. Now we're going to log off. And I'm just going to use the command shutdown -L. And I'm going to get my soaring bald eagle again.
It's wonderful.
Here's my soaring bald eagle, and we're up on the big screen again.
Right.
And we're going to gesture, and here's my picture.
Here's
and
where
I'm
it
going to
is.
circle my logo. But you know what? I'm going to touch the U.S. flag, and I'm going to draw a line through that, and it's going to say, oh, this picture password is incorrect. Try again. So let's draw my circle there, and touch my book, and draw that line. Whoops. And it is a little sensitive.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Well, that's
you
good.
have the option to switch to a password if you want. I don't want to do that. I want to get this right because I'm a little bit paranoid. And my book, my line,
And it says welcome and you're in.
and it says welcome and you're in.
Right.
Picture passwords are going to eliminate the need to remember these long passwords. We also have the ability to create a PIN. So if we come down here to my settings,
Okay.
under change PC settings, users, I can create, and it's going to switch my screen again.
There you go. That's okay.
Remember, folks, this is still pre-release software. This is all fixed on the RTM bits. I'm going to create a PIN. And of course, it's going to ask you to confirm that you are who you are. And I'm going to enter the PIN 123456. Nope, it's got to be 4 digits. So 1234, 1234. That is a super insecure PIN, and I don't tell anybody to use that.
Right.
And I'm going to log off.
We'll see it up on the big screen again, I guess.
Well, we're down at the small
Oh,
screen
okay.
still, and I'm going to come up here,
Yeah.
and it's going to ask me for my PIN, or I can select sign-in options, and it says, hey, do you want to use your password, do you want to use your PIN, or do you want to use your picture password?
Perfect.
And all of these are going to be tied to my Microsoft account.
Right.
Now, we haven't talked about domain settings yet. Of course, all of this is controllable through group policy objects. If I am a domain administrator, I don't want people using 4-letter PINs unless it's tied to 2-factor authentication.
Right.
I can lock it down. I don't want people using the picture passwords because it's easy to look over somebody's shoulders and see those gestures and replicate it. I'm going to lock that out.
Sure.
But if I have home users, this is all accessible to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think what people are going to have to get used to is Microsoft is moving towards being able to see what is available to you without actually having to go into the product. The reason for those live tiles, and this is something that a lot of people are missing in a lot of the blogs that I'm reading, is they don't realize that they don't have to open up their mail to see that they have mail waiting, or they don't have to open up their SkyDrive to see new files are ready for you to download, whatever the case is. These are all live and they're online. So you can kind of get an idea of what it is that you're looking for or looking at without opening up a single product.
That's absolutely true, Rob.
Well, thanks very much. We really appreciate it. So we'll be looking forward to seeing all those new touch surfaces as well. So
Well, I look forward to coming back on with a Microsoft Surface device in a few months.
we're going to take you up on that, I'm sure.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.